Hello, everybody. I'm so excited. I did get a paper pumpkin and for November, right? And I just love it. I knew I'd be able to work with it and make a great alternate with it. And I will show you those. And I'm going to show you how it applies to other cards as well and what I've done to give you ideas. I love to give you extra ideas so you can see how things work. All right. So we're going to go live on Facebook. This is for YouTube. Remember, always go to more to see what else I have there for you. There's always links and other things. And I will have some extra dimensions on there for one of the pieces. And let's see, is there anything else? I don't think so. Let's go ahead and let's go live. Oh, here we go with this December paper pumpkin. And I think you can all see this and everything looks pretty good. I'm kind of excited because I knew I could do something with this specific paper pumpkin, even though they were treat boxes. The way I have set this up is that you can make 8 cards from this kit and then 4 if you want treat boxes. Of course, you can make easily cards out of the other ones as well, but I can absolutely use 4 treat boxes. I know. All right, so let's see real quick. This is the stamp set that is found in that kit. And you have some warm wishes from our home to yours with love. 'Tis the season. And the other one is special delivery. And then you have a little package right there and a little dog right there, and then the door. And you're going to see how we're going to use the door. All right, so it's a great stamp set. I'm quite pleased with it. All right, then what we have in here are these wreaths. Of course, there's tons of them because they want you to put them on every single blank window. So there are thousands of them. And I put it right here on my card, the one, and that's wonderful. That's beautiful. Then we have these stickers. I believe these stickers are for this card, maybe this card, maybe not, since it has so many stickers, but it could be for right on top of the door. We'll see what it says, which one it's for. But there are these stickers. There is this, which is the tear and tape, which they love to use for boxes, which is wonderful. I love tear and tape. And then these are the labels. There's 2 kinds. I used both kinds so you can see them. And then let's see what else we have. We have the linen thread, which is wonderful, which I did use. There's tons of it as well because of the way they use it. And then this is the mossy meadow. And then they did have your typical dimensionals. They were large dimensionals. Here we go. They're the large dimensionals. And then here is the baggie that you can go ahead and place into your boxes when they are done. All right. So I'm all about alternates. I will show you the 2 types of cards and what it's supposed to be like. So here we go. So these are the cards, and basically there's a base here. This is your base. All right, sorry about that. This is your base, okay? And then this folds over, so there's a doubling of that. Very nice. And I do think all the wreaths go here, the little wreaths, and maybe the big wreath goes on this one, but I'll look at the directions in a second. But this goes like this, and then your baggie fits in here very cutely, and then you have your labels. Very easy, nice treat box. I intend to use this as a treat box. I have my gardener that I want to give his little girls some treats. I have some friends that work at the Blue Tavern that I might go ahead and give some little treat box to. So there's always somebody that you can give a little treat box to, and they're only 4 if you make the 8 cards. There are 8 in total, so you can do that. I'm just going to show you then the image of these. So it looks like this. See how in the taller one, all those wreaths are all over, and then on this one, the wreaths go here. So I don't quite see where that sticker goes. Maybe it goes on the envelope. No, there's no envelope. Oh no, it goes, the big sticker one goes on the brown, and one goes on the blue. So each one has one of the big stickers. On the door, I believe, is where it's going to go. Yes, I believe on the door on that one. And I'm not sure where it goes on the other one, but I'm not worried about that. You can all read the directions and find that out. I'm more excited about this card. Now, what I did to make this card is I cut this up into pieces. I cut this piece off right here. I cut right here, this piece. And I cut then obviously this. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces that you end up with. All right, 4 pieces. And I'll show you how I use each of those pieces as we go along. I just broke it up. Wherever there was a score line, I broke it up. This is the card type. All right. And I'll be giving you the dimensions of those. But here is that card type. And you see here, I used one of the small ones, and I used the stamp the dog, and I used the circle, and the special delivery is from the truck set. I did use Trucking Along, and I did use this stamp and this stamp and this stamp, and then went ahead and stamped and cut out the dog, and then used the special delivery from this stamp set to complete that card. All right. With this, I am using a specific designer paper. The one I decided to use because it had the mossy meadow was the Shining Christmas. This is an online exclusive. It's gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous paper. I love it. You can check it out. I will talk about how to cut these and all that in just a moment. All right, so that's our card. It stands like this. Now, most of the time, folks put in this spring in these at the bottom. If you can see that spring. I do not put a spring in. I don't find it to be necessary at all. It holds up just fine, has a nice shape to it. You can even make it longer if you like it longer, or you can make it squatter if you want it squatter the base. So the base can be longer out and standing or more squat and standing. You can decide how you like it. It holds it up just beautifully. It's not a problem at all. All right, so there you go. You write your message back here on these. You write your message on the back. You can use an extra piece, and that's about a 2.5 by 4. So the extra piece, if you use colored cardstock, is 2.5 by 4, and I will mention that again. Okay, so this is the card. Isn't it fun? I'm so excited to make it. So since we cut it in 4 pieces, what I did, I'm going to show you here, what I did is I used the one as a topper to make extra dimension. So I can only put extra dimension on one of them, but that doesn't matter. It looks just as nice as you will see without it. And let's see, is there anything else? So this was one of the pieces. This was the front piece for this one. This was the front piece, and then I used this piece as a topper. So this is the front. I have to remember my viewing is very different now. So this is the front piece here that I used, and then this piece I cut off as the topper. Okay. I'll go back and refer to it as we go along. All right, let's look at what you need. You need one piece of 8.5 by 11. You will be, because of the dimensions, you will be using quite a bit of it. I suggest that when you cut your paper, you cut it this way at 4 1/4, so that what you're going to have is you're going to have that extra. This is how you're going to cut your cardstock at 4 1/4, and so you have the 11-inch side, and so this is your card base. You would need that. Okay, any extra DSP or any other topper. So here is my cardstock. I used that new cardstock that came out, and here that's a 4 1/4 by 4 1/4, and then all those other 3 pieces are going to be in the same color. And so what's going to happen is that you could make 2 out of these. Okay, you could make 2 out of that one color cardstock pretty easily. And then you have this for the 1.5 by 8. And then you'll have the 1.5 by 1 1/4 by 6. So you have plenty of paper here for that. All right. And so you probably, I don't know, you probably would have another one for this, but you would not have enough for this part. I don't know that. I doubt that 4 1/4 is left, since it's going to be 3 something that's left, but you could use this piece for the backing, the 2.5 by 4. So you can make almost 2 complete cards with one piece of cardstock. That's what I kind of wanted to tell you about. So basically, whenever you do these normally, all right, like here, and these are bold. I love these because they're bold cards. All right, and you can see here that the different sets that we're using here. This is going to continue. This leaf set is going to be continuing on to in our future after January. This is obviously continuing on. This is not. And I love that set. It is the Merry and Bright, and I think it comes out really well. All right, with this style of card, and because this card is for bold fronts. All right, so these are some examples, and these I put that accordion in there, and these I did not, and I see no reason to. Also, because for sending this off, it would probably be more postage because it's so much thicker here. And it kind of makes it kind of funky. So I'm proposing not to do that. All right. So this was that basic color, and then you would have another sheet that's the 4 by 4 on top of that, and that could be designer paper or stamped. As you see here, we use white or vanilla stamped cardstock to do that, the 4 by 4. But you could definitely use designer paper here. All right, this is the New Year's one. I love this one. This used the time together and the more wishes. All right, and I thought that was really fun with the more wishes. Okay, I'm going to put that to the side. So you got, let's see, so you got your basic dimensions. All right. And so we're going to talk about the scoring. This does not get scored. This is going to be an easy card because you don't have to put the 4 by 4, because the house, you're going to have the house. And this is what I'm doing with this one. Here's the house that I'm going to use. So this now becomes that other half. So I already used this piece and this piece, and now I'm going to use this piece and this piece. All right, so these pieces are going to be what are going to be used for this card. So what I did is I used one of the labels right here, and I used one of the I used the linen thread. I used the mossy meadow here for the label, and I simply put a hole in there. Now I think that was too big of a hole, and if you have Stampin' Up! Product, you might have this punch, and you might see that that hole is a much better hole than what I put in there. Luckily, I quadrupled my linen thread. There's tons of it, so I quadrupled my linen thread, and so this can float, and that's what I like about that, is that this is going to float around. Okay, so that's how that's going to work. We're just going to float that around. And so when I do these, I typically go ahead and put it through. I put it in, let me show you, let me see if I can get some thread here to show you kind of what I do. This will be big enough. So what I do is I put it through, and then I loop it, put it through, then I loop it in. And this is exactly from the front. I put it through from the front right there, loop it through. It makes my knot, and then I tie my bow. That's all I do. All right, and I quadrupled this. Let's see. So all I have to do is glue this down. But before I do that, I want to, oh yes, so that was that piece. So what I want to do is I wanted to use the trucking along stamp set, right? And in that stamp set, you have the ground. And so I stamped the ground down there. And so that I'm going to put this basically above the ground. And all I'm going to do is I am going to glue this only because it is a pop-up, and this already swings, so that pops up. And so all I'm going to do is glue this down. And this would be, instead of your 4x4, which you could use, let me put that a little higher, which you could use and so basically that 4x4 becomes your design, which you can use on top of that 4¼ by 4¼ I did use this and stamped in Starry Sky. Now I am using Starry Sky, and I use the pecan for the wheels here. And so that's how I did that. And what I'm going to do is I was going to put it this way. Now, these are all windows, okay? And some of you might say, well, that's like the side of the house or the back of the house, so it doesn't make sense. So what I did is I used the stamp, and I stamped the image and fussy cut it out of white cardstock. And then I watercolored it. I did watercolor it with a water brush. So I use, of course, I use the Stampin' Up! Water brushes. I use their stuff because it really is better and it makes it easier to work with. And then I did use the water brush, and I did use the Mossy Meadow, and I did use the Poppy Parade, and I used too dark of a yellow. I used an older yellow. I should have been a brighter yellow, but that's okay. And then I cut it because it was too tall. It would be all the way up here, and that's going to be too tall. So I just simply cut it so that I could put my door. Now, the reason I watercolored it, because if you look at this house, you'll see that it's kind of watercolor-ish. So I thought this would work perfectly. And then this just goes right down here, and you can glue that on, and you have your front door. All right, watercolored. Now you can glue it on. You can put dimensionals if you want it to stand out. I would glue it on. and that becomes my door. So I'm pretty happy with that. I would leave, I wouldn't say that I would do this every time personally. I leave the side, but if you want, you see you have a way out of this, and you can definitely have your door. So that now I need to smear that a little bit more. Yeah, it's a little more centered. There you have your door. Isn't that great? All right. So now what I was going to do is I do like to put this on dimensionals. All right. I do like to put this on dimensionals. You see, you already lose the one tree. This is going to be taken care of, but it looks like a shrub anyway, but it's all right. What I'm going to do is I actually put the small dimensionals. Let's see here. There it are. I put the small dimensionals right here. So I did it in that blue, as I said before. I do it in the blue, and that starry sky blue. And what happens is I then used the pecan on that blue color, and it comes out a little browner. But this is where I'm going to put my little vehicle, about right here. I mean, you know, that's what I love about the Stampin' Up! Products, is that they coincide and go together so well. It makes crafting beautifully, so easy. Now, I did try, and I'm going to show you this, see if you can see this. I'm going to take my light and put my light here and see if that helps. Here is my little dog, all right? And I did stamp him on this side to see if that would work. It kind of does, but I preferred, it really does. You could use the back of that to do your dog if you really wanted to, but I preferred my dog this way. And he's kind of like jumping out of the vehicle, and I'm going to use, so I stamped him. Now I colored him. I did color him with the blends, but you can do it with coloring pencil and the blender pen pretty easily, I'm sure, and that'll work for you. So they go like that. So I'm having him kind of jump out of the vehicle. Opa. Oh, I lost him. I'll find him. He flew down there. Okay. He's kind of jumping out of the car, out of the truck bed. See, just like that. Isn't that cute? Then the paper that I was using, I cut out some of the presents, and I'm going to just glue those in there. So this one was coming here, and you saw where I put the dimensionals low, and I did that on purpose so that I could put my presents in. The back seat. And I could still even put that one there if I wanted to, but like it's falling out as well. But I really don't think I need that third one. I mean, it would be cute, but I don't think I really need it. And then this would go as special delivery. Okay, so let's see how we build this thing and how easy it really is. So this is the piece that makes your base. And let's go ahead and talk about how that's cut and make sure you have those dimensions. All right. And I want to move this. So I want to show you specifically how this is done. So when you do this, and you have directional paper, this is going to be cut at 1 3/8. All right. So if this is the top of my cutting tool, I'm going to make the 1 3/8. As you see, this is direction. I don't want to cut it this way at 1 3/8. So it goes up and down correctly. I want to cut it this way first at 1 3/8. Once I have this cut at 1 3/8, I can then cut my strips to 1 1/8. And so what I do is I start at my left end and I cut out 1 1/8. And 1 1/8. Now, what's most important, and I'm going to show you that in a second. What's most important when you do these, now these are all the same, and I've already done 4. So I want to keep those in order because I want to put them. So I've got 6 of them. And I want to make sure that I have the best 3, the best 3 in front. And so when you do these, a lot of times you want to make sure, because you're going to see 3 of them, that 3 of them really match. The rest, you want it to match, of course, but if it doesn't, you don't have to panic. But you want your best 3 in front. And I'm going to show you how to easily find the front and not to worry about it. Okay, so when we're going to do this now is it's going to get glued this way. Okay, it's going to get, this little tab is going to get glued, and then we're just going to shut it and put it on top. All right, and that's after we put all these pieces in. So it is 1 1/4 scoring. Okay, so you know it's 1 1/2 by 8, then you score 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4, 5, 6 1/4, 7 1/2. Each square is 1 1/4 wide. Okay, so it's going to be 1 1/4, 2 1/2, 3 3/4, 5, 6 1/4, 7 1/2. All right, and then you'll get this. All right, and then this is going to be your back. So these 3 panels are your front. Okay, these 3 panels are your front. So I know that. So I'm going to take this one. It's my first cut, and so that one has to go to the left so that this is in the center. So my second one would be my center. So my third one is then over here, and that's how that works. Okay, so here they are in order. So the first one does not go in the middle. It's the second one. I think I did that right. Just to make sure. It's this one. Yep. It's the third one in from the left. I'm going to put that there. Center that. Good. Then I'm going to put the next one in and center it as well. I hope my visuals are better this time than last time. There you go. Make sure. My last one, I didn't quite have it right. I think this time I do. I wouldn't mind tilting this to just, yeah, that did it. That goes this one. And then I'm going to continue on. That one goes here. and just go ahead and continue on, because that's the next one in order, right? Then this is the next one in order. This is going to be on the back side now, right? And then this one. I decided to go with the Christmas trees versus the packages. I could have done the packages again, but I wanted to show you a different paper of this sheet. It's so gorgeous. It's all glistening. It definitely has reflects. I don't know if I can, don't know if that's showing. Let's see. Is that showing it? I don't know, but it is. It does glisten. Anyway, don't want to waste too much of your time. All right, so then I simply put my glue right here. And I simply close it. Yes, on my last one, I didn't close my. It's always this way. Basically, you should be able to just fold it over and it finds its right place. And that's always when you know you're doing okay, you know. So that really is important. I did have my, I do need, there it is, my bone folder. My edges are a little rough, so I want to get those edges better. Now, this next step is very important. Kind of slipped on me. I'm going to maybe cut that off. Kind of slipped on me here and gave me an edge, which I don't want. There you go. There you go. Got that rid of that edge. Okay. And so this is how that box stands, okay? And then they put that accordion in, and I will again give you the dimensions if you want that accordion, but they make two pieces and you fold the top down and then you score it. It's about a 1/4 inch if I'm correct, or is it a 1/2 inch? 1/2 inch is, I think it is a 1/2 inch. Yeah, because that'd be 4/8, 5/8, 6/8. Yeah, they're a 1/2 inch, I believe, each. Yeah, they're a 1/2 inch. And so what you would do is you go ahead and score these each at 1/2 inch, and this is a longer piece. This piece ends up to be actually about 1.25 inches, and you make an accordion out of the one. And then you see here, you'll have the bottom the same here, and it'll have a little tab at the end with the dimensions, and then you'll glue those two ends that you glued together, and then it comes in here like this and gets glued in here, and this keeps it open, but it stays open anyway, so I'm not keen in adding that bulk, but I will give you the dimensions for that. All right. And so anyway, so now the other piece and how that works. Now this piece could be a little shorter if you have a scrap 5.5, you know, I think that really will be fine. It fits exactly the way this is done. It fits exactly here like this on the inside, and that side goes on the inside. It goes in the front, center, and back, and you fold it all in the same direction, just like you did this piece. It was all folded in the same direction. And then what you're going to do is you can put your glue back here on that fold. I actually put it on the fold. And I'm going to put it back here, that one. And I'm just going to make sure that I get that adhered. and I can put probably at this point, this will be easier to put the glue here now. I do one at a time so I don't mess up too much. This is important. This helps your stand. It helps it stand up as well. And this fits exactly, so it goes right to the edge, so it's kind of nice. Makes it easy. And there's your little tower, see? It really is an easy card. When I first saw this card, I thought, oh my gosh, how is that going to ever get done and how difficult? But no, it's really not a difficult card. That's what makes it so fun. And then we're going to center this, and we're going to talk about how you center this. This is important because this cannot be taller, okay? Cannot be taller than your 5.5, okay? So you have to be careful because it's going to fit in your envelope, all right? And it really cannot be any taller than 5.5. So when you put this on, you want to take it and you want to butt it up right to the edge of your stand. I mean, really butt it up. Don't fool around, all right? And so all I have to do now, so see, is take my glue and put it up here. And I have 2 of my cards from one of my boxes. Of course, you can center it by putting it here on this line like that. I put it on the dimensions, and then I see that each of these are about a box. So I know I'm centered here. That's why using this kind of paper to work on makes it, this grid paper to work on makes it so much nicer, because then you know that you can center things better. And then I literally push it to make sure it's all the way to the edge. I'll let that dry a little bit. And I could have again used this. I used the other label from the kit. And so that here you go. Isn't that wonderful? And there's my door. I have 2 doors. I have 2 doors. Of course, you can do the door in the brown and the pecan. I decided for this, I was going to keep it pretty much the same. All right. But you definitely can do the pecan. My door isn't quite as straight as I would like it, but that's okay. I won't obsess. And then there you go. All you got to do is prop it up and it stands up, and it's a beautiful facing card. It'd go like this, just so that you see. All right. Now, one quick other thing that I have for you. So this is great. And I thought, what great placeholders this would make. Okay. So, and if you wanted to make your placeholders right here, the only dimension you change on these is actually, the way I look at it, the only dimension you have to change is the width of this piece, okay? And this is going to be a placeholder, and you're going to make this a 3.5 by 3.5, your back, and then your front becomes your 3 by 3, okay? And then what you're going to use is, you could use the same size as this piece. So you could use the 6, all right, by, what was it? 6 by, let's say 6 by 1.25. But I would use a 6 by 1. That's how I would change that. A 6 by 1, so it's not as thick, because you won't need it as thick. So that's a 6 by 1. All right. And that's going, and this is going to be then, this piece that makes up your base is going to be a 8 by, that was 8 by, it's a 1.25. So this is now going to be 8 by 1.25. All right, so it's going to be a little less. And then what I did is, the way this stands on the stand, thought this was so cute. The way this stands on the stand here is so that when you see it, when someone's walking by, they can see their name here. All right. And again, you know, you design your thing. And then this ends up to be, the way I did this one is this ends up to be 2 inches scored at 1 across, 2 by, I made this 3 1/4. So this is a 2 by 3 1/4, right? Oh, 2 by 3 1/4, 2 3/4. Ah, 2 3/4 by 2 scored at 1. All right, and I glue the back on, and then this goes here. I thought you could say something in here like love. All right, and your name maybe if you wanted to, or just love on there, whatever you like. If it's a wedding, if it's the holidays, you can put little presents, you know, stamp little presents on there. But this way, then this is a little bit smaller and would be a great placeholder. All right, would be great. So again, here I would only change the I wouldn't change any score lines. I would only change the width to the 1 1/4, as I said, versus the 1 1/2. The score lines are exactly the same. The DSP now is 1/8 by 1/8. The DSP will be 1/8 by 1/8. So it's a square. So these are square. Okay. So that's how that would work. I think it's a great idea. I think you might try that, and maybe I'll do a little mini video on that so you can see the placeholder. That's what I was waiting for. What is the name? Okay, I hope you liked the video. Please like, please heart, please comment. I hope you like this. I really do. I enjoyed making these, and I think they're perfect. All right, bye now. Talk to you later.